little sidewalk hopping this afternoon. Getting ready to go night shift. Gonna drop my bike off at Nick's tonight. He's gonna put a new back tire on it. I told him while he's got up on the lift, just check things out. We'll stop up here in a second and I'll go over the latest modification I did. I shot it at night and it just doesn't do it justice, and I'll have to try it again with a different camera. Last week I went over to Pete's and put a new headlight in. The ST has to take a special bracket for a headlight. Looks like I'm playing stoplight bingo today. Yeah, the availability of headlights for the ST are the Custom Dynamics headlight or the LP6, as far as really bright adjustable headlights. Now, adjustability being the key word there, because I had an LP6 on the Electric Glide standard, and in order to adjust it, you did have to take the fairing off, but you could adjust it, and once you got it adjusted, you was good to go. You need a special bracket on the Lowrider ST to be able to run the run the LP6 or the Custom Dynamics. In my opinion, I mean, the Custom Dynamics is a plug and play, so you don't have to wire a wiring harness as opposed to the LP6. But the LP6 side lights are so bright, and that's what you want. You want to be able to light up those sides. And it's hard to do this video without feeling like I'm disparaging other people that does headlight reviews. But I don't think that other people do headlight reviews travel in the dark areas of deer population like I do, and that's fine. I'm not, if I lived in the urban area, it wouldn't be a concern. But I couldn't afford, as a single father of 4, couldn't afford to buy an LP6 at this time, or the bracket, or the wiring harness, which you're talking about like $1,000, and that's like a cam and tuner stuff, or a tuner anyway. I think I'm supposed to turn here. I'm hitting all the lights today. Gixxer 600. Sounds good. I like the sound of sport bikes. He's going to beat me off the line, ain't he? That's fine. I'm not in a race today. He don't know I'm motovlogging. Does he? Maybe he does. What is taking this light so long? Anyway, there we go. That's a lot of gas just to get past me. Anyway, so I originally purchased the Moons MC headlight, and when I started putting it in one night at Pete's, I realized that I was going to have to drill holes in my fairing, and I just was not happy about drilling holes in my fairing. I don't like the plastic fairing as this infrastructure for the headlight, because my bikes take a beating. Even though these streets look pretty nice, you get out on 71, it's like bombed out Beirut in 1982. But so I shelved it for a second. I told Pete, I was like, I gotta think about this. Tried raising the factory headlight up, son, which there was adjustment, but the factory headlight is just awful. Anyway, so I seen advertised that Eagle Lights had one with a, and I think they advertised like no drill adapter plate. And the Moons MC didn't have adjustment. I remember it saying no adjustment, and then I remember the reviewer saying that adjustment. An Eagle Light thing had just came out, and there was no Amazon options. And I'd put Amazon lights in other people's bikes before, and they were fine. But anyway, I had no beef because they were made in China or wherever, Taiwan, because all the headlights are made there, probably except for LP6s. Maybe custom dynamics, I don't know. I never asked, but I think most cheaper headlights, and when I say cheaper, they're not cheaper. You know, if you was buying that for your car, you'd be like, oh my God, paying that. Anyway, we're getting ready to go on to Cutting the Hill. So I ordered the Eagle lights. It was advertising for the ST with adapter plate. You don't have to drill. And I assumed it would have adjustment. I was like, you know, they're jumping out ahead of Moon's MC, which doesn't have adjustment. And you had to drill. And I was like, good. So I ordered it. And it was on sale when I ordered it. So I'm not, but it's still, I mean, it was still 120 bucks, I think, when it was on sale. It came with the adapter plate for that price. So saying that, you know, it was a deal. But me and Pete last weekend decided to put it in. Discovered that once it was in, there was no adjustment. And because there wasn't, and we marked off a spot 25 feet away from his garage at night, 3 foot up, and I was going to need to raise the headlight up like a foot. You know, which, you know, don't mean a foot on the bike, but it, you know, you're going to have to adjust it up to be a foot to be where you're supposed to adjust the headlight up. And because of that, even though the headlight was bright, because it was facing down, even on high beam, it was maybe marginally better than the factory headlight. And I was like, this sucks. You know, this really sucks. So I went home disgusted. And what was the Ranger? Is it a Ranger with a camper? That's cool. Or Maverick. Anyway, I went home disgusted and decided the next night that I would put the Moon's MZ in, and I did. I took it out, drilled the holes, and put the Moon's MC headlight in. And it's much brighter than the Eagle's lights, but it still has no adjustment. Now, it's brighter, so, you know, if I lived in the city and had street lights all the time, it would be fine. But because I live out in the Chronicles of Riddick deer country, I'm going to make some shims and maybe drill another hole on the other side, and make some shims to go on the back side of it so that it's not just a plastic holding the thing in. And I'll get it to where it'll work. I'll raise the Moon's MC light up and it'll be fine. And I think it'll get by, especially since I'm going to be putting Baja Design lights down on the crash bar, and I figure out how to put a on-off switch somewhere where it's easy to get toggle on and off when I need to. I don't know if I can figure out a way to get it on the handlebars and look decent or not. I got the Baja yellows and the Baja rectangular clear, so I'll be able to get some decent light. I'm wondering what the wind noise sounds like. I'm put the wireless mic inside my Simpson helmet, because the Simpson helmet's a really comfortable helmet, and I like to ride long distance with it. But it does vent good, even though I have a neck curtain, the chin curtain. I'm going to work. Like I said, going to drop my bike off my daughter's going to take me to work. But I'll stop up here in a second and give you a view of the Moon's MC in there. I'm sure you've seen them before, but we're stopping where there's a copper. So I think the speed limit's 55. Jesus, 55 on a highway, not hardly light traffic. It's so easy to go fast on this bike. You don't realize that. Like, it doesn't feel like it's going fast. That's the difference between this and the bagger. Like when you was going 70 or 80 on the bagger, it felt like you were going 70 or 80 on this. You look down, you're going 70 on this, and you're like, oh shoot, I thought I was going 55. I mentioned before, maybe I haven't, maybe it was on the other channel, the traffic moves much faster than I ever remember. I'm taking my time because I'm running ahead of schedule, and I'm going to stop up here at the rest area and do a little shooting of the bike. But I'm going 70, and traffic is moving, subcompacts, cheap SUVs, is moving 70 plus on a Tuesday afternoon. Is it Tuesday? Yeah, Tuesday afternoon. Now it's light traffic, but it's also like almost 3 o'clock, and traffic shouldn't be this heavy on Tuesday. In the morning when I come home, it'll be freaking flying, and if I might shoot a different motovlog about that tomorrow. We'll see if it's not pouring down rain in the morning. Nick told me he'd have the bike done overnight. Nick has a full-time job as well as his bike shop, and because he's planning on opening a nice big bike shop in the future, and he's squirreling away everything, which is that's how Nick's a go-getter. I really like that. He's also very anal, and his bikes are always perfectly clean, and I always apologize. I'm like, yeah, my bike's filthy. I've been riding in the rain. He goes, I know. So he accepts me for who I am. He also likes to. Me and him have a very similar riding style, as we're both aggressive riders. But like 74 and traffic is like, here comes a truck pulling a trailer. It's just like, so older Harleys. Like I commuted on a shovelhead back in the 90s. 70 to 80 was the faster traffic, and the 4-speed shovelhead was like. That was a workout for it. And now this is cruising along at that speed, but I'm just saying that traffic moves faster, and that as a rider you have to be aware of that, and you prepare your bike for that, gear it higher. If I did I really like, I can feel this is not gear like my bagger was at 60. This thing is like in 6th gear. It's not like the bagger felt in 6th gear. It's different gearing. I don't know if it's in the transmission or the pulleys. That'll be something I think about in the future if I want to put a different pulley in it to give myself a little more high end, and put a different cam in it. Then that will compensate for that. Anyway, let's pull in this rest area, and I'll give you a quick look about of the Moon's Eye. It looked nice in there. I get it. I've been looking at them in BK Low and Von Gasphalt's, and it's no, I'm not disparaging them guys. The guys driving the city, they need to be, it's very visible in the front and very bright. But I think they ride in the street lights a lot, so it's not like me where I'm out there blind. And since I hit a deer twice on motorcycles, and that was not fun. And then back in October, I totaled my Subaru hitting a deer that ran out like total blackness, and like so fast that I couldn't even get my foot off the gas at 70 miles an hour at 4 o'clock in the morning. I got a little bit of PTSD, and I really think that having your bike lit up and being aware and wearing PPE, the right PPE is key to riding these days, especially if you're a commuter. I was going to say good brakes, but most modern bikes come with good brakes already. Anyway, let's park it for a second and walk around. I'll show you the. See, I got my Torx thing. I got it bungeed on the back like that. So I would still like to put a sandbag or maybe get some little things go there. Maybe I'll also have to see about that. But I do like the Torx. It's waterproof. I throw it in my locker at work. If it gets dirty, it's easy to wipe off. You can see the filth on the front of the bike from the last time I got caught in the rain. But there, see, I still got to put my trim ring around it, but I don't like that there's 3 adjustments thing. I'm going to make a shim to go around the bottom here, to shim out the bottom just a little bit, because there's not a place for shim there. And I'm going to make some shims to go behind this, so it's not just the plastic holding the light on. And that's just a critique. If I'm engineering a part and selling it as a quality product, that's one of the things I would do. I know that profit margin is an issue in marketing and all that. I get it. I'm very empathetic toward American manufacturers of competing against Amazon. Oh man, that Cruzy original crash bar is dirty, but man, it's pretty. And it reminds me of my FXRP crash bar I had years ago, and my Moon's MC things. I think once I get some different pegs, I'm also getting a different seat. Shh, don't tell anybody. That's supposed to be a secret. And I think the different seat might make a difference too before I start messing with welding something on here for I got some tubing, some tubing somewhere. I'm gonna make some foot pegs, permanent foot pegs. My Arlen Nest big sucker air cleaner, which we'll be putting a cover on that soon. It's just filthy. Sorry, Nick. Sorry. Yeah, that bike's pretty though. It's really pretty. But you know, because I bought a sport touring bike, I am going to set it up for touring, not just city urban thrashing. So you see this little fence on the side of the road? That is not so that you can't drive down in the medium. That is a deer fence meant to stop a deer from crossing, because housing developers have moved out. See all these woods down there? Well, that's just like a front there, but if you go on the other side of the woods, these housing developments have bought up property, and they're building these big mansion subdivisions, and it displaces the wildlife. And then deer travel in a circle their whole life. They get up in the morning, travel in a circle, and then bed down back in the same plot every night. And when you move that circle, then they get lost. They got to create their own new life. Where sometimes that, you know, in their DNA, this highway wasn't there. Thousands of years of DNA, this highway wasn't here. So when they move, they're like, why is this inconvenience here for me? It's not that the wildlife is running in the road. And but what happens is, in the dark with no street lights and that gully down in there, they jump out of them across that fence. They don't walk out in the road. They jump out of there, so you don't get a chance to see it. And in the mornings, when I travel to work, this is my route. It's extremely dark out here, and then the headlights that come in the other directions kind of make that a blind gully. And then the deer jumps them gullies, jumps that fence, jumps right into your vehicle. Opening day of deer season, it looked like it was crazy how many dead deer was on the road, including the one that I hit with my Subaru, which broke my heart and bruised my face up pretty good. So, and then you add the trophy buck culture of people letting small bucks live and not shooting does. And then you have an overpopulation problem until they're diseased, because people only want to shoot trophy bucks, not to eat, but to mount, and which is, well, I don't want to get into that. You know, I think you shoot deer, you should eat it, and you should shoot deer or shoot an animal with the purpose of eating it, which would be, the best deer is a young doe. Sorry if you're vegetarian, that triggers you. Mike Rowe got in all kinds of controversy when he did that video called Safety Third. There's your Kentucky tax dollars at work. But he pretty much implied that the corporations and companies only care about safety in the legal standpoint, that their safety goes as far as making sure that they create procedures that don't get them sued, and that if you want to be safe, it's up to you. That companies put production and profit above safety third. And he got all kinds of trouble, but I agree with him. And if you look it up, tax dollars, you will see that it is safety third, and that's the way manufacturers that motorcycle manufacturers could put better brakes. I mean, they put better brakes on sport bikes, which are cheaper than most motorcycles. They're in affordable range, so they can put better brakes on all bikes, better pads from the factory, better rotors. It doesn't cost that much more to machine a better rotor. Better ergonomics, better lighting, taillights and forward lights. I know it's not as pretty, to have big lights like the Goldwing does. But if you drive in an industrial area, you will find that having those nice taillights is a must. Especially when you ride at 4 o'clock in the morning and you go through a big industrial zone and everybody's running late. No matter if you're on time or not, you have people run up on you at high speeds, and it's not cool. So yeah, safety third, it means you have to make the safety your priority, because the company, the corporations, they're not thinking of you. You have to think of you. The right PPE, the right modifications to your bike to make it safe and be seen, and to be able to survive emergency, critical riding situations. On that note, I'm gonna get off here, and I hope you guys have a good rest of the week, or I don't know when I'm gonna post this, because I'm going to work and I'm not gonna be able to edit tonight at work, but I'll work on it. I got a big one I'm working on at home. I just haven't been satisfied with it. On that note, peace out.